Hello and welcome to this video about Priestess Embodiment. My name is Marin Bach-Antonson, and for those of you that don't know me, I'll just do a quick introduction. My business is priestessrising.com. I work with women specifically on the priestess path who seek to activate their priestess codes to fully step into their ministry and to embody the Magdalene energy, the lineage of the Sisterhood of the Rose, to activate their rose codes and to truly walk the path of love. So I'm delighted that you're joining me for this video. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about the archetypal priestess. And today I wanted to speak specifically about priestess embodiment because there's some controversy amongst the priestess community about what denotes a priestess. And I've heard that there are people of different opinions. One camp will talk about how a priestess is really not allowed to call herself a priestess until she has worked with a mentor or has been certified by a priestess or has done some sort of priestess training or program. And then it's like she gets the the stamp of approval to be able to call herself a priestess. On the other side, there is the notion that the archetypal priestess is something that lives inside of you and that you and only you can uncover, discover, step into, and have it revealed to you when you are ripe and ready to call yourself a priestess. Um, and in my opinion, I think that there is a connection between both of those things. But I am going to just, sort of talk about the importance of this topic as far from a perspective of embodiment. I don't think that there is anybody, anywhere, that has the right to name you a priestess. I believe in the deepest core of my body and my bones that you know in your heart and in your soul when you carry the archetypal priestess, and it will be revealed to your consciousness in a particular way. And oftentimes that is a hunger or need to do priestess programs, to read books about the divine feminine, to be around other priestesses and to get into sister community. And all of that is a result of something that's very real, very true at the deepest core of your essence. I think that it's an old masculine model to say that there is an authority that gets to tell you or initiate you as a priestess. Although I do the work of feminine soul initiation, my job is to hold a ripe space for remembrance so that when a woman is ready, she can self initiate herself within the context of being witnessed and mirrored and celebrated and seen for the role that she has named, claimed, and is stepping into. I don't think that simply because you take a program or get a certificate that necessarily is what is the qualifications for having you be called a priestess. Um, there's no authority over you that can tell you who you are. That's your responsibility to name yourself. That said, I do think it's really beneficial to be around other women that hold the priestess codes. In fact, my story of this was that when I was 25 years old, I walked into a room that, the goddess guided me to be in. And some of you have heard me tell my story. I'm not going to tell it right now, but it was just happenstance and total synchronicity that I found myself in an autumn equinox ceremony back in 1997. I met a beautiful woman that ended up being my dear mentor at the time. And simply from being around her and from soaking in and basking in her mastery, it began to awaken something inside of me. It was like things began to pop, things began to percolate. Was it her training, or was it just being in her field of energy Looking back on the experience, it was being in her field of energy that awoke my priestess codes for me. Because very quickly, I knew how to do ceremony. I understood how to create, hold sacred space, do ritual, because it was something that was already innate in who I was. Many of you carry the priestess codes. And really, all we need is to be in spaces and places of remembrance. Sometimes going to vortex spots like Mount Shasta, like Glastonbury, Avalon, like Lake Titicaca down in Peru. These places also help us. They do something to our bodies and to our remembrances to help us uncover and discover. Egypt is another one that help us uncover and discover more of who we are. So that's my personal opinion about it. I'll also give you this example in context. Back in 1997, when I started to do this work, I wasn't quite ready to call myself a priestess. So I called myself a ceremonialist for some years. And then I just knew that priestess was right and that it was embodied for me and it was real and it was authentic. And I began to call myself a priestess. And then Magdalene came to me in 2013. And I had an incredible mystical Magdalene experience. And I knew that I was a Magdalene priestess. I knew that that was my lineage, but I was not yet able to truly claim it, name it, and step into it. It took me a couple years before I began to put myself out there as a Magdalene Rose priestess. Now that is, completely embodied. The next evolution for me is my inner mystic. I know that I am a mystic. I am just beginning to call myself an awakening mystic, to really claim that archetype, to claim those codes. So it's a matter of your own evolution and your own feeling your way into the next becoming, the next becoming, the next becoming. And you and only you get to decide when you claim the name of it and you put it out there in the sacred marketplace. Are there some women that call themselves priestesses and aren't really embodied and aren't really authentic and they're just kind of wearing the clothes and doing the do? Sure, but who cares? You have your own intuitive navigating system. You'll feel if a woman is right for you and whether or not that you should be taking her program. Sometimes, stepping into something before we're ready is what gets us ready. So I practice non-judgment when it comes to all of that stuff. And I don't adhere to this level of scarcity that only some women can be priestesses because they've done this, that, or the other, and other women can't. I think it's, if we live by the tenet of feeling our way into what feels authentic, then people are going to be drawn to us because we'll have a magnetism to us and an embodiment to us that other people can feel. So I hope that this conversation was helpful for you today. And I just want to encourage you that if you feel deep, deep, deep inside of your bones and your belly, and you know that you're a priestess, then begin to truly accept that, embrace that, know that. Go into ceremony and name it for yourself, claim it. I am a priestess. And what's going to happen is that all manner of energy in the universe and intelligence in the universe is going to conspire to line you up to the teachers, the programs, the places, the pilgrimages that are going to help you step into that role in a truly full, amplified, juicy, embodied way. Thank you so much for joining me in this video today. I love you. I see you. I celebrate you, my dear sister. Thank you for being on this path of love with me.